What's good? What's good? Okay, it is January 19th. It's a Sunday. It is 3:05 a.m. The reason why I was making this video is I was watching the rideshare professor. It says at risk of a 12-hour suspension. Click. I understand. Make sure you are both platforms and switch. Basically, what he's saying is that, you know, if Lyft is saying this, then switch over to Uber. No big deal. All right. So pretty much I was noticing some of the stuff that the professor was saying, and that's why I wanted to make a video based off of the content. So basically the driver, like I said, is a 12-hour suspension, and the driver was saying, well, you got to do what you got to do. You know, and I've actually said the same thing to Lyft before. And what the professor is saying is, you know, you switch, if you drive for Lyft, go over to Uber, DoorDash, Grubhub, or whatever, you know, no big deal, whatever. They just won't be making that money. Now, let me explain something. There's a reason why they're deactivating drivers the way that they deactivate drivers. They're doing that because they can make more money that way. Remember, they charge more money when demand is high. If you have the same exact amount of drivers today that you need to fulfill the ride requests, that's a good thing, and it can be sometimes a bad thing because they can make the same amount of money, if not more money, with less drivers. Because when demand is up or normal, but you have less drivers on the road, you can charge people more money for the rides. That's how these apps work. They charge you more, even though they have the same amount of ride requests today like they had yesterday. If they deactivate drivers, now they can just charge people more money. So imagine 35-40% more people are paying an extra $15-20 more. So they're going to make more than having 100% of drivers that they need on the platform that day. So deactivating drivers is a win-win situation with Lyft or with Uber. It's that simple. Now, the professor also in this video, he goes over that the passenger, I'm going to turn this way real quick. It says safety issue, canceling due to delayed pickup, canceling too often. The professor did make a mistake in the video. He said, basically, we're not going to sit outside and we're not going to wait for the passenger. That's not what that means. When it's saying delayed pickup, it means that the driver isn't moving. They're not heading to the passenger to pick the passenger up. That's what they're referring to. They used to word it differently, but that is the same thing based off of how they used to word it. So the driver's sitting there, and then the passenger ends up canceling because the driver didn't start heading towards them. And they don't like when that happens because, you know, they want to look better than Uber. Uber wants to look better than Lyft. So having drivers not move is an issue. But here's the thing. Sometimes our apps, it says network connection failed. So it's not getting a connection. And so we can't navigate to the passenger. Even if you show up at the passenger's address and the app is still having network issues, you can get there, but you can't actually swipe to start the ride. And the passenger can end up getting pissed off at you. You can get attacked because you're making them late for work. They don't care that you can't start the ride. They don't care that you're not going to get paid. So now you got this person inside of your car and you don't know what's going to happen. I've had people say, man, can we go? What are you waiting on? You know, they got an attitude, and I'm like, as you can see up here, if you take a look real quick, it says network problems. I'm here, and it's not allowing me to slide to start the ride. As you can see, look. And they're like, man, why don't you go to Google Maps? They don't understand the process. They don't understand that if I don't swipe to start the ride and I just take you to your drop off and it's still having network connections because their system is down, then they're not going to pay me for that ride. Yet they're going to still charge the passenger. I've seen it happen. I've had passengers where I gave them my number and they gave me their number and everything, whatever, so we can make sure we hash this out. Those are good people, but most people, they don't care, you know, and they're not trying to pay for the ride. Hey, if your system have an issue, your system have an issue. They don't care. So again, one of the things that they mentioned was unsafe driving, and the professor was saying that, well, that's a variety of things because they're not telling you why. Actually, if you go in the customer app, you can see that you can hit right here where it says get help with another issue. You click on that, and in the customer app it says report a safety issue here. So these are the issues that they're talking about, which is still a wide spectrum because they're not classifying what the real issue was. So here are the issues: unsafe driving, intoxicated driver, discrimination, inappropriate remarks or exchange, unsafe conduct, weapon seen or discussed in a ride, driver was different than profile picture, driver arrested, unauthorized recording, unsafe vehicle accident. If you are a driver, I've seen YouTubers sit here and they tell you, oh, don't register your camera. If you don't register your camera, you're an idiot. I'm sorry if you find that me being disrespectful, but I'm going to explain why it makes you an idiot. Because on your, where it says vehicle and devices, okay, it says your recording devices. If you do not add the device in your app, in the passenger app, if you don't add the device, here's the problem. When you tell Lyft that you have a you recorded the trip, when you tell them that, Lyft is going to turn and flip everything around on you. They're going to say, well, you never added the device, and because of that, it's not submissible. It's not court, but at the same time, they won't take the recording because you don't have it. You didn't add it, which I don't understand. Right here it says Corporate added May 23rd, 2024. Then it says dash cam incomplete, added January 19th. No, I didn't. I never added it again, and it's the same damn dash cam. Let me go in here and do this. So I'm putting it in right now. The brand Cobra. Does the device record sound? Yes. Record inside and outside, both. And then for the vehicle, and now I'm going to save that. All right, so now that is updated. So it's showing January 19th, 2025. Make sure you have make sure your stuff is saying completed, or how it's right now, it's not saying incomplete. Before it was saying incomplete. And I don't know why, but I had to make sure I went ahead and re-registered everything, because I don't want there to be a situation where they're saying, oh, well, something happened and you didn't re-register it, and now I can't use my devices and whatnot. But everything is in there as of right now. So you just add the device and everything. So again, that's what probably happened. I was trying to do another video. I added a device and everything and whatnot, and then I didn't complete all of this information. So I'm going to remove that one. And so now it is showing that the Cobra device is there. And so now whenever the passengers, I accept the ride request, the passenger will receive a notification that the driver is recording during the trip. Lyft has to watch the video if there's an issue that happens. If you don't register the video, you have nothing to protect yourself. Nothing to protect yourself. They have to notify the passenger that they're going to be recorded before the ride. You don't register your video, your dash cam, you don't have any proof to submit to Lyft. Period. So please do not listen to drivers that tell you that you don't have it. And I'm going to show you something else that's inside the driver app. Now, look at this here. What is that? That's silver. So if you have to have a 60% driver score in order to be on the silver tier. And only then will you be able to have support, be able to get them on the phone at that point. So if Lyft was looking to hear from, if they had the resources to let every driver call them, every passenger call them, guess what? Everybody would be able to do that without having to reach a certain tier. Now, remember before you couldn't be on a silver tier. You had to be on, like, I think you had to be on like the gold tier to get 24-hour support. They changed it to now you just got to be on the silver tier. So it doesn't really help to have a 40 or a 30%, a really low driver score. You're going to have to work to get it back up, which I had to do that the week before last, and it was stressful. And it's because I needed to ask about the Driver Express program, which is not in my market, and their AI system was not answering my questions. So I had to go out and do some rides. But anyway, again, like I said, make sure you register your dash cam. And as I said before, the spectrum as far as how many unsafe conditions or safety conditions, I showed you, there is a list that is for it. But the professor, I believe what he was going through is the fact that they don't tell you what particular safety issue it is and everything, which is stupid because you know what passenger made the false complaint. We all already know where it's coming from. We don't need them to tell us who it was. That's why I screen record all my rides, and I'm able to give them the addresses and all that information. Like, here's the pickup address, here's the drop-off address. Yep, I got it all. So you want to let me back on the platform now? Now, this particular driver that he's going on, they actually had 12 rides out of the last 60 rides that was flagged for safety issues. Like, come on, that's pretty good. 12 out of 60, that is 48 good rides that they had and 12 bad rides. So they're doing pretty good right there. And that should let you know, and they should be cross-referencing. Those 12 passengers, do they frequently report drivers, meaning they're 9 out of 10, they're lying? What is those passengers' ratings? Come on, people have to have some sort of level of credibility when they're in our cars and everything, because if they're always being buttholes and you as a driver seem like you might be somebody that report them, they're gonna try to report you. And did those 12 passengers ask the driver, hey, can you stop right here? It's only gonna take me 2 minutes. It seems to be that everybody believes that their stop is gonna take 2 minutes, but they're not gonna put it in the app, which means that if you make a stop as a driver, if you stop and somebody robs you, carjacks you, or slams their car into you, Lyft's commercial auto insurance is not going to cover it. The passenger never authorized it in the app. While you're at that gas station, while you're at that store, they don't know why you're there, other than the passenger never authorized it. So you're going to screw yourself. If the passenger gets out and snags themselves on a piece of metal and scratches themselves really bad and everything, you're at the stop and it wasn't authorized by the passenger. You may be held accountable for that person's injuries. The person trips on getting out of the car. Even what passengers don't know is that when you get out of the car and go to walk inside of that store and you slip and fall, the commercial auto insurance is supposed to cover that. But if you didn't put the stop in the app, it's not going to cover anything. So FYI, I don't disagree with anything that the professor was saying. I just wanted to clarify and clear up the fact that, number one, that the delay, it was canceling due to the delay. That is in reference that the passengers are canceling because their trip is being delayed because the driver hasn't started moving yet. That is why that delay happens. And then as far as the drivers logging off and going to ride on another app, Lyft loves that. Uber loves it because they get to upcharge the passengers that are getting rides and the drivers that are out here doing these long distance pickups and not getting tipped to balance out those miles that they're not getting paid for. They're not going to get a dime for that. And, if you notice that you look at the customer app and you notice that there aren't any drivers out, why are you even online? See, right now, even though it's 3:23 in the morning, as you can see, they're showing 8 drivers that's out in my market right now. Or I think it was like 7 drivers. I forgot already. So they're showing that many drivers. It's 3:20 in the morning. Okay. It's not that many riders that are out here in the morning time like that. This is why, okay, they do have a $2 bonus hour. I'm not going to get online for that bull crap. So they have more drivers out more than usual right now, but you notice where all the bonuses are. It's way away from me and everything. And I don't feel like going online. I don't really chase like the $2 bonuses. I like really the 5 and up, but I'm okay with at least minimum three, because 3 rides an hour, that's $9. 4 rides would be 12, and plus what I'm supposed to get on the fares. But the $2 ones, that's just annoying. That's like anywhere from $6 to maybe $8 extra that particular hour and everything. It's no, I had to do 5 rides just to make $10 in bonuses, and you're not gonna get 5. You may be able to complete 3 and get to that fourth one. And that's why I do the $3, because it may turn out to be 12 and 24 within 2 hours if it's back to back to the $3 bonuses. But anyway, please, as a driver, get a dash cam, register the dash cam with the app so that you have proof that you can provide to Lyft that what the passenger is saying did not happen. It would be nice if Lyft would start deactivating drivers. But you know why? I mean, passengers. You know why they don't want to deactivate passengers? And they just want to say, oh, well, we're not going to pair you with that driver no more. Or, oh, we're not going to pair you with that passenger no more. You know why they don't want to do that? Because then they're sending that customer right on over to Uber. Right over to Uber. But if the moment it goes viral that passengers are losing access to the platform, then people will start respecting the drivers. But as of right now, somebody can kill a driver or they can beat up a driver. And Lyft will say, well, we're deactivating that customer's app. But then that customer walks into Walmart and buys a gift card. They're back requesting rides on the platform. They do not need to do a damn thing right to be a passenger. But we have to do everything right in order to continue being drivers on the platform. It's just getting harder and harder out here, and it's just ridiculous. But anyway, I don't want to make this video too long. I appreciate it. Please tag the professor. I do want him to, at least watch the video. The main reason is just for him to know that particular driver, they wasn't headed towards the passenger, and passengers are canceling because that person is just sitting there. And that is somebody that driver doesn't know. That driver doesn't know that your acceptance rate can go down to 1%. You still are going to be active on the platform. You don't have to accept the ride request. You can decline as many rides as you want to. You just can't cancel a whole bunch of rides. So don't accept the ride if you don't want to do it. But unfortunately, sometimes, especially when you're given a ride, you end up accepting a ride that you don't want. But because of it may be because they're going into a bad area, or because, you just ended up accepting it because you like the payout, but then you realize where the passenger is going and now you don't want to do the ride, but you're going to have to cancel. You shouldn't be doing that many times a day in the first place. But what you can also do if you can't process everything while you're giving rides is you can go down to queued rides. All right. Click on that, and then you can do manual accept. That way, if, instead of, this is if this driver is having this issue, go down to manual accept. That means that they can't add a rider to the queue unless you accept it first. Also, make sure you have ride switches. Make sure you have that off. All right. And the reason why you don't want that being turned on, you want to have it turned off, because and I'm pretty sure other drivers have made a video about this before, but you will accept a ride, and after you accept the ride, they'll switch you. And now you're pissed off because they switched you to a ride where it's paying less, or the passenger is farther away from you, or they're traveling farther. And, for me, hey, switch my ride if it's a long distance pickup. Then you can switch my ride. But also at the same time, I'm not trying to go from getting paid $10 for a ride down to getting paid $3 or $4 for a ride. In those cases, I don't really like it. If it's a long distance pickup, yeah, switch me, especially if I'm going to get paid more money on the next ride. Or I'm driving through a bonus area and you're going to switch me so I can get a bonus on this next ride and those other conditions are met and everything. That is okay for me. But I'm trying to make sure that driver, if they look at this video, that they understand that they need to make sure that they turn off their ride switches so that they don't have to finish a ride, realize where the person is going, and then cancel it. Now, if you feel comfortable with leaving it on, then make sure you're reading where that passenger is going, and where that passenger is being picked up. So if you know that passenger is being picked, the pickup is like in 2 or 3 miles from where you're dropping off the current passenger, that shouldn't be an issue. The neighborhood shouldn't change all that much. All right. But so the idea would be to look at where the passenger is look at the total miles to the pickup, look at where the passenger is traveling to, then look over to the total miles the passenger is traveling and decide whether you want to take it or not. I think that would be the best way to do it. So hopefully this guy, maybe they didn't know that they could turn the ride switches off, and now your cancellation rate can get down as low as humanly possible. But don't get it twisted. I think that Lyft would sometimes put cancellation points on you, even though you give you bad ratings on your cancellation point, even though you actually didn't cancel as many rides as they're claiming that you canceled. So it's really important to kind of keep track of your status, because I think they do play those games with drivers, especially if you're declining so many rides and everything. They get pissed off about that. Like, dang, man, we wanted them to do this, especially if you got a ride challenge going on. And so now they want to say that you got a 3% cancellation rate, and you're like, wait, I didn't cancel any rides today. What are they talking about? It's a little bit annoying. Appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll have more content coming soon. Thank you.